And we back, and today we're going to be rebuilding the Dallas Mavericks. Happy New Year's Eve or New Year's. I'm not completely sure when you're watching this, but hopefully you're enjoying your time with the family or whatever you got planned. I want to rebuild the Dallas Mavericks. The Dallas Mavericks have been a team that somewhat surprised the league so far. You know, they started off pretty decently, but now after tonight, because as I'm recording this video, they just lost to the Trailblazers. After tonight, they're on a 6-game losing streak, and I'm here to help them out. Now, the reason I'm saying I'm here to help them out for this year is because we don't have our first round pick. If y'all remember, we traded our first round pick to get Luka. And if you ask me, that's a W of a trade because Luka looks like he's going to be a future star in this league. But I want to continue what they're doing and try to compete right now. Mark Cuban said, hey, we're going to tank for 1 year and we're going to get right back to competing. So that's my job to help him do that. There's certain players that I want to go out and try to get. I like this squad, but I think a nice stretch 4 would help this roster a lot. And I know one that just got paid, but he may not be safe on the trade market, and that's K Love. Kevin Love, what do you want? What do they want for you? Wesley Matthews and Ryan Brokenoff, if that's how you pronounce it. We're not trading Dennis Smith Jr., at least not right now. We're not trading DeAndre Jordan. We're gonna do this deal, man. Kevin Love only 3-star trade value, and it might be because of this contract. They don't want to pay it anymore. But regardless, I think he would fit nicely alongside Luka, so we're going to do that deal. So right now, our team is looking like Dennis Smith Jr. I'm going to make Luka the shooting guard because that is his secondary position. Then we're going to have Harrison Barnes, Kevin Love, DeAndre Jordan. The bench, in real life, the bench is really solid. But in 2K, I feel like they're going to be really, really disrespected. So let's see what the free agency market got. I don't want to bring in Manu. Austin Rivers just resigned in real life, so actually the free agency market don't got nothing for us. But 2K doesn't really be putting the respect on like the Dallas Mavericks name. They don't put the respect on the Kings name. Like those up-and-coming teams, 2K always trashes. So hopefully this trade is enough for us to continue to stay in the playoffs. I think that's all we're actually going to do for this first season. If I make him a shooting guard, his overall stays the same. So we're going to make him a shooting guard / small forward, even though we know Luka can play all 3 positions because he can play point guard too. But this is just so I guess nobody will get injured, but this is just so they can continue to keep him at that shooting guard position. Again, man, I don't like the bench as far as 2K goes because 2K is going to disrespect the heck out of this bench. But regardless, I'm just going to sim the games, get to the end of the regular season, and hopefully we have a playoff spot. Y'all know this Western Conference is crazy, so you never really know. So I'll be back very soon. We didn't make the playoffs, y'all. They disrespected us so heavy. Oh, that's annoying. Here are all the awards, man. They didn't even give Luka Rookie of the Year. That's tough. That's just so tough. Man, I definitely thought this team was good enough to make the playoffs. Here are the final stats. Yeah, that sucks. That sucks that this team wasn't good enough to make the playoffs. But it is what it is, man. This is not supposed to be a 1-year rebuilding challenge. Obviously, the trade I made was to help us now, but having Kevin Love on the roster could help us in the future. But if not, we can just trade Kevin Love. It's not like he's got a no trade clause. But we were this close to making an 8 seed. We would win against the Warriors. The Spurs beat the Warriors in the first round. So, yeah, that's something to think about. And not only did they beat the Warriors in the first round, it looks like they're going to make the Western Conference Finals as the 8th seed. I don't know what they did, but Pop got these boys hooping, and they're up 3-1 against Houston, and they made it to the finals. They made it to the finals. Pop, what you got these boys doing? This is the same roster. They did make a trade to pick up Mason Plumlee. But other than that, this is the same roster, and they're in the finals against the Raptors who swept them. Okay. Pop couldn't do everything. It was a miracle that they were even there. But all right, man, it's unfortunate that we didn't make the playoffs, but it is what it is. I'm not going to trip too hard. The pick is end up going to be the 12th pick to the Atlanta Hawks. I don't care about that. My Bulls did get the first pick. I don't know if I loaded in the draft class, so let me check that real quick. Okay, Zion is there. We don't have a pick, I don't think, or at least a first-round pick. But we're going to still go to the draft and see what's going on with it. Maybe we make a deal in there. Is there somebody on this roster that I don't want anymore? No, we only have 2 contracts on the books, which is a perfect thing. But Kevin Love's contract is still pretty huge. It may be good enough for us to get like one more max player, but I'm not completely sure. At least that's what I want to happen. We're going to bring in Daniel Gafford. Or should we go for Jonte Porter? Michael Porter's younger brother. He's a 6'9 center. I don't like the way that looks. Bressett from Syracuse is up here still. I'm just going to go with the best guy available, which is Josh Reeves, according to his stats. But whatever. I don't care. None of these guys may not even make the roster when it's all said and done. Rookie signings. I don't want any of them. I don't want any money on the books because Harrison Barnes took his option. So did Dwight Powell. So that's tough. Because of that, we won't have much money to do anything big, at least like I wanted to. We're going to keep Kostas. Salamejri can walk. Duran Finney-Smith can walk. We're going to keep Kostas and Maxey. But let's see if I can work some magic and try to get some free agents here. I don't know how much money we have. We got decent money. Not enough for like a max player, but we got decent enough money for us to bring in some solid pieces. We don't have a center at all on the roster right now because DeAndre Jordan is gone, but DeMarcus Cousins does not have any offers at all. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to free up some money to get DeMarcus like a max contract offer, and I think that means I'm going to have to trade Dwight Powell. I know people in Dallas love him, but we have to get him off the books. If I can get like some first, Philly wants him for a first. The Clippers want him for a first. The Atlanta Hawks want to give us a first. No, they want that contract. I think I'm going to do that Philly deal, get a first round pick out of it, and then we're going to have enough money to potentially bring in DeMarcus Cousins. He got 0 offers, so that should mean that he's going to sign here. Boogie, boom. All right, so Boogie has accepted, which is a beautiful thing. Now I need some backups. I need backups at pretty much every position, so I need to go super cheap. Like Raymond Felton is super cheap. I'd probably rather go Sean Livingston because he's a little bit younger. I'm sure both of them overall is going to regress a little bit, but I just need to sign a lot of people to like not a lot of money. All right, so we're going to go into player progression and see how good Luka got. +1. Oh, man. He has an A+ potential. We only gave him +1? That's tough. All right. So we brought in Justin Holiday, Tyler Zeller, and David Nwaba to be backups. I think that's solid. I can't believe Luka only went up +1. Crazy. I'm thinking he's going to come into this season like an 88 overall, but I guess that's not right. But I think our team is really solid. I don't know how long Harrison Barnes is going to be on the squad, if we've been real. He's on the last year of his contract, so I think that may mean I want to trade him now so we can get something for him. We're going to pick up Tobias Harris, and we're going to slide him to the small forward position. We also pick up Montrezl Harrell to be our backup center, and I like that a lot because Montrezl, he really be hooping. Now, Kenny, why Tobias Harris? If we make Tobias Harris a center, his overall goes down by 1. But obviously, we don't want Tobias Harris playing center. If you make him a point guard, he's still an 80. Shooting guard, 85. Small forward, 89. So because of that, Tobias Harris is going to be our starting small forward. And I think that is crazy. I think that's a crazy good trade for us. And then, I think that's pretty much it as far as trades go for us. So we got Dennis Smith Jr., Luka Doncic, Tobias Harris, K-Love, Boogie. Off the bench, Montrezl Harrell, Justin Holiday. I guess I don't need Tyler Zeller getting minutes anymore. We'll give those to David Nwaba. And we are 100% a playoff team. I think we're even good enough to compete. The Warriors still have everybody, though. Kevin Durant re-signed and Klay Thompson re-signed. And that's not a good sign for us because even though I think we can be competitive, I don't think we're good enough to fight against that team just yet. So that's something we got to go through. Maybe we sign Wayne Ellington. Can we do that? Oh, that's such a good signing. That's such a good signing. And now Justin Holiday can be that backup small forward instead of shooting guard. And hopefully his overall goes up. Boom. All right. So now we completely start to simulate. And I shall be back. I like it. Very good season. Kawhi Leonard wins MVP. Zion wins Rookie of the Year, part of the Chicago Bulls. But you cannot wear that number, Zion. I can't believe the Bulls fans let you do that. I can't believe it. Dennis wins 6 Man of the Year. Kawhi Defense Player of the Year. Most Proved went to Valanciunas. And Coach of the Year went to our coach Rick Carlisle. Oh, yeah, because we had 63 wins on the season. Let's see who's our leader as far as points per game. Boogie. Makes sense to me. Completely makes sense to me. All right. We were the #1 seed. The Warriors. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh my God. I thought they didn't make the playoffs, but they're down there as a 2 seed. I thought they didn't make it. If the Warriors did make the playoffs, oh my God, the league would go crazy. All right, let's make it a shorter rotation though. I want my stars to play as many minutes as possible. Also, Sean Livingston. Not completely a star, but as a backup, Sean Livingston does his thing. Game 2 against OKC. After we lose game 1, we come back. OKC, obviously a pretty solid team. They have Jared Allen? They have Jared Allen, which means that they traded Steven Adams for Jared Allen. All right, I don't know why they would do that. Jared Allen, nice up-and-coming, promising player, but Steven Adams is a right now, let's win type dude. So it's weird that they would go the youth route, but we're up 3-2 on them. And if they had Steven Adams, maybe they would have got out of that first round. Next round, Denver Nuggets. Game 1 is a dub. Game 2 is not. Game 3, let's go, man. That home court advantage. Game 4, up 3-1. We don't blow these around here. Boom. Western Conference Finals. Oh, and we don't have to face the Warriors, which, if you ask me, is a very, very good thing, even though, as you can see, this Houston Rockets team is very good as well. But I would much rather face the Rockets than play against the Warriors. And that's just a fact. Game 1, we come out there with a dub. DeMarcus put the team. I can't say he put the team on the back because Dennis Smith Jr. and Luka both had 20+. But game 2, we lose. See, honestly, I don't feel like this is going to be a championship here, honestly. But I'll take it if it happens. I'll take it if it happens. Boom. Finals against the almighty Raps. And y'all know the Raps in 2K are unstoppable sometimes. Game 1, we lose. Yep. Game 2, we lose. But we can fight. 3-1. And we lost. Yeah, I didn't feel it. Sometimes I come into an off season or playoffs and I'm like, yeah, this is a championship year. I didn't feel it. The Raptors kicked our butt. That's okay. Year number 3, I feel it. We just got to make sure we do the necessary moves this offseason. Pretty much all of the team is going to be back, but we can do some signings, maybe do a trade here and there to make sure that we get some better players, I guess. All right, player progression. Let's see how much better Luka gets after year number 2 of us making it to the finals. Tobias Harris gets better. Luka just gets up 1. Dennis Smith Jr. gets up 3. They are super disrespectful, but I mean, 87 overall is pretty good. 88 with the chemistry boost and everything. So, I mean, I'll take that. Kevin Love is still getting better for some reason. We bring back Montrezl Harrell on a big contract, but my plan is to flip him once the season starts because our bench is trash. So if we can flip him to multiple decent bench players with our first round picks and everything, that'll help us out and win this championship. And here's where things gonna get super interesting for us because we're about to start flipping players left and right to get the best possible roster. Clint Capella we just traded for, but I'm actually gonna flip Clint Capella. Just give me a second, or maybe I'll keep him, but let's try to flip him because I got some ideas for a certain player that I want to be our 6th man. And he's so good that you were like, why would he be the 6th man? I'll explain. This is not what I was just referring to, but we're going to trade Kevin Love for CJ. Kevin Love had a good ride here, but we're going to make Luka back to the small forward, Tobias Harris back to the power forward. Boom, boom. And this is what our new lineup is going to look like. I may keep Clint Capella as a 6th man. Dennis Smith Jr., CJ, Luka, Tobias Harris, Boogie. But something in my mind is saying that we're still missing something. So I'm gonna keep playing around with the pieces and try to just make the best lineup as I can because year number 3 is a year we go all in. Now, instead of just having one really good 6th man to Clint Capella, I'm gonna trade to get 2. These guys are gonna be coming off my bench. Kyle Kuzma and Brandon Ingram gonna be coming off the bench. I'm gonna keep Tobias Harris as our power forward, even though his overall is higher as a small forward. We're gonna keep him in our power forward, and we're gonna have Kyle Kuzma and Brandon Ingram come off our bench, which, if you ask me, is a huge dub. We need a backup point guard and a backup center, and then our team is like ready to go. So we have to make that happen somehow. And Brent Forbes is making $5 million. Somebody give us a nice point guard for Brent Forbes in the first round pick, right? Bam Adebayo is the guy we're gonna get. We need a backup center. Bam, there it is. So our bench is like really young too. I mean, we got Dennis Smith Jr., Luka Doncic, we got Kyle Kuzma, Brandon Ingram, and Bam Adebayo. Like, that's a super young team, but it's still gonna be good enough to win a championship. Hopefully, still one piece away, and that's the backup point guard. So last trade, and then we're gonna get to Simmons some games and hopefully win this championship. If we don't win this championship, I don't feel good about it because we made a lot of trades, and I think this team is really good, and we still got a lot of first round picks left. but we just need a backup point guard. Sean Livingston is back on the squad. 77 overall. He's just a very good backup. 9-man rotation, and now we are completely ready to simulate games. I'll see y'all at the end of the season. This should be a year where we win 65 plus. James Harden wins his second MVP. None of this even matters to me unless Rick Carlisle wins Coach of the Year again. None of that really matters, though. We finished with 61 wins, so not as much as I thought we were going to have, but it is what it is. Hopefully, we just still win the championship. CJ led us in all scores, but there are all the stats if you cared. Now, playoff time. Let's make our rotation shorter and make sure we get all our good guys playing the maximum minutes, and let's go sim. Game 1. Actually, let's go completely first round, because honestly, the Spurs should not be able to keep up with us. They're the 8th seed. We're the 1 seed. It should be easy. But then again, 2 years ago, they did go all the way to the finals of the 8th seed. But regardless, we get out of that first round to go against the Warriors. Yikes. And I think they're still the almighty Warriors that we know today. They still got their big 4. So it will not be easy. Yeah, it will not be easy. But we're here. We're here for game 1. I'm taking this one at a time because I think this is the biggest matchup we've had since the finals. Game 2. Oh my God. Can we sweep them? Okay. I don't feel bad. I think we're going to win a championship. The Toronto Raptors are out. We just beat the Warriors. This should be a GG. LeBron and family, we just took Kyle Kuzma and Brandon Ingram from y'all. So that's it. Can we sweep the Western Conference? Game 2 is a dub. Game 3 is a dub. And the Cavs are in the finals. So who do the Cavs have? This team made it to the finals? I mean, they got a couple of our ex-players. We're going to go 16-0 in the playoffs, aren't we? We're going to go 16-0 in the playoffs. Wow. Because this Cavs team should not take a... How did they... Oh, what? They get a game. Whatever, 2K. Messing up the perfect streak. We win it in 5. Boogie wins finals MVP. That's just so weird that team made the finals. But we had our guys, Boogie, CJ, Luka, Tobias Harris, Kyle Kuzma, Brandon Ingram, Dennis Smith Jr., Bam Adebayo, this guy who's a two-way player, Marjanovic. Our team was a whip. So what I need y'all to comment in the comment section below, if you got to this part of the video, just comment hallelujah instead of hallelujah, hallelujah. And I know you got to this point in the video. You are a real MVP. Thank you so much for watching. It's been Kenny. I'll be back. Probably not tomorrow because it's Christmas, but the day after. Peace.